Good morning, Mortgage Coach members. Welcome to today's Beginners Foundations event. Today is all about helping each and every one of you get the absolute most out of your membership. We're going to be teaching you some takeaways that are going to be a real impact to your bottom line. So we want you to be able to leave this session with a good understanding of how you can start creating presentations quickly, use some of the shortcuts we'll be talking about, and ideally take advantage of many of the strategies that we're going to showcase for you today. Because this is a GoToWebinar event and this is a large attendee group, be sure to ask all of your questions using the GoToWebinar control panel. So on the right-hand side of your screen, many of you should see a chat option. You can type those questions into the chat. You can submit those questions into our great support team, and we'll make sure all those are answered today. So for many of you, this may be your first experience in our training events and what we provide on a weekly basis here. We're going to talk about all the different events you can join, but just know this is the tip of the iceberg. You're not alone with your membership. We have plenty of resources available to make sure you're comfortable with this system. So today we want to make sure you can learn several things about Edge, and there's a lot of different things you could do with it. But before we get too in-depth here, I actually want to push a poll out to all of the attendees today. I want to just quickly ask everyone a question. Curious, what would you like to learn today? So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll. If you could do me a favor and answer that. I'd just like to know, what are you hoping to learn? Did you want to learn how to accelerate your sales cycle? You want to increase conversion efficiency? How to generate more referrals? Or for many of you, is it all of the above? So if you could just do me a favor, quickly answer that. Thank you for those of you that have already done so. And we'll get an idea of what you're trying to get done with the system. Excellent. Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for answering. All right. So the great news about today is you're going to learn all three of these things. And that's really what we talk about being a Mortgage Coach member. You're going to accelerate your sales cycle to do more in less time. We don't want you, needing to work 80 hours a week to maximize production. We want you to have an efficient process and be able to earn commitment fast. Conversions, again, that's what we're talking about here, taking a client into the yes, move forward phase as fast as possible, and how to generate more referrals. That's extremely important right now in today's purchase market. We're going to talk about that, and you're going to walk away from this session knowing how to do so. I want to talk about just the philosophy of what you should be looking at with your membership. And many of you have heard of the website Amazon. It's not the smallest website. It's actually a very huge corporation. And their owner, their founder, Jeff Bezos, once said, if you do build a great experience, customers tell each other about that. Word of mouth is very powerful. So really want you taking that on as you start sending these out. You're going to get some really, really good responses from your clients. They're going to be very impressed by what you're sending. Don't hesitate to ask them who they know that should also receive one of these presentations, a friend, a family member, or ideally a coworker who you can provide additional benefit to. They're going to appreciate what you're providing them, and they should be so excited that they're going to want to tell somebody else. So hopefully, again, leaving the session, you're going to feel that you can do that. Many of you know why to use Edge, but I'll just cover that really quickly. Deliver powerful loan presentations, improve that conversion efficiency at the point of sale, and ideally increase referrals from clients and partners. Okay, quality referrals from quality partners. We're going to help you do that today. What are you going to learn? You'll learn what's included in the membership, so you really have that comprehensive view of how you could take action, which presentations are available and how to send them, and just some best practices to help you get the most out of your efforts. I see that questions are starting to come through. That's great. Remember, at any time, just type in your questions in the chat box. We're going to make sure those questions get answered. Okay, so really want to give you this visual as you get behind the wheel of Edge, so to speak, as you log into the system. I know it's just like that feeling of being a student driver. You're behind the wheel. Maybe you're not familiar with the layout. You're starting to learn different areas. So believe me and the rest of the team here at Mortgage Coach, we understand that your initial experience might take you some time to get started, and that's okay. So as you go through this training, as you continue to use your membership on a daily basis, just know it's just the start. As you learn it, you're going to really get comfortable with it to the point of many of you on this call now, you remember your first experience as a student driver, and now you can get behind the wheel without thinking about it. You just drive, and you can get from point A to point B as quick as possible. That's what you're going to be able to do in Edge. So again, the first couple presentations to do. You might feel like a student driver, but eventually we're going to get you to the point where you're a NASCAR driver. So let's talk about what you have first. You have access to Edge. Okay, this is why many of you are on this call today. You want to be able to wow your clients at the point of sale, show a professional loan presentation, and shorten the sales cycle, make changes instantly. Well, you have access to Edge. You have access to the mobile application. Okay, this is all included in your membership. You're going to be able to take advantage of that. You also have access to RateWatch. Oftentimes people start their membership, but they forget to download RateWatch. It's part of your membership. It's included. All you have to do is download it. I'll make sure you understand where to get that. Also, coaching calls. You're at one of our events today, which is our 9 a.m. beginner session, but every Tuesday, every Thursday, we provide the mortgage industry's best weekly sales meetings. Tuesday is the business improvement sessions where we're going to bring in top producers that are going to share how they're building their business. And then Thursday is led by our great support team. They're going to really dive into all the technical trending scenarios that are out in the marketplace. Maybe it's an ARM loan versus a 30-year fixed, or you want to show 5% down versus 15% down and make live changes. That's what's covered on those Thursday sessions. So again, overview and business improvement is Tuesday, and really diving into the technical things is Thursday. And today, obviously, is a beginner session. If you need to join us for another beginner session, just let us know. We're happy to have you back. But believe me, after going through this, hopefully you can hit the ground running. Before we dive into the product, just want to make sure you're clear about where you deliver the Edge presentations, and it's designed for the point of sale. So this process, this platform that you see here, we all know it's pretty standard across the industry: marketing, selling, back-end, and loyalty. So let's be very clear here. Edge was designed for the point of sale. That's why it's on at that point on this platform. You can use it for marketing. You can use it for loyalty. You can use it during the process to keep your clients and partners informed. But if you were to ask me, where am I going to get the most value right away, it's when you're quoting a loan, when you're quoting a scenario, it's your point of sale solution. We also want you to get referrals faster. One of the things we totally understand here at Mortgage Coach is you've got a lot of systems that you have to manage. Maybe it's a company CRM that they just rolled out, or maybe it's your pricing engine or your company's SharePoint system, or it's your LOS, or the company intranet, your Outlook. So we completely understand. Mortgage Coach was built by originators for originators. And for 15 years, we've been trying to give you the most advanced technology for your business. So one of the things I want to be clear of, that Mortgage Coach Edge is not a CRM. Yes, we have CRM functionality, but you're going to get all the value in the case of CRMs are great to get the phone to ring, but when that phone rings and you answer it, that's what Edge is for. That's for delivering that value. So be very clear. This shouldn't take you 6 months. You don't need to pull in your database and learn how to integrate this into your business, because it's as simple as what you're already doing. You're already quoting loans, and it's just an enhancement to that. So I want to ask you this question, what's your why? Why do you want to be a successful mortgage originator? Obviously, making more money is a byproduct of that, but is it because you enjoy what you do, you like helping people, you want to take your business to be a leader in your marketplace, or do you want to be in control of your business so you can spend more time with your family or more time with your friends, have some more personal time? Okay, we do, again, to repeat, we don't want you having to commit 80 hours a week to your business. We want you to be able to do more in less time. So think about your why. That's really going to help you as you take this on. And the deeper your why, the better your results. We know this because we work with the best producers in the country who have used Edge effectively. And we want, again, to leave you with better lead-to-loan conversion, get those realtor referrals, confidence, and, of course, more compliance. That's what we're doing, and that's what we're doing every day. And this is not something that we're just going to stop developing. One of the things you'll know as a Mortgage Coach member, as you'll see as time goes on, we're going to continue to improve it. We're going to continue to add enhancements for you as their member, and you're going to know. So make sure when we send out marketing messages, when we send out our information, that you're looking for it, or like our fan page on Facebook. There's a lot of great information there. Just like you have a why, remember your clients and your partners have a why too. So some borrower motivations that you can take advantage of. You've got a lot of clients right now considering a move-up purchase. You got those first-time homeowners you could take and really educate them on the benefits of home ownership, lowering interest rates for clients and refi, shortening terms, cash out right now. Maybe they want to acquire an investment property, eliminate mortgage insurance, help somebody whose credit's improved. Maybe you want to show them how to pay off the loan faster, or just get out of an ARM loan, get into a fixed loan. There's all kinds of borrower motivations, and you can use Edge to reach those particular clients. So Getting into the system, this is something you all want to bookmark, edge.mortgagecoach.com. You want to bookmark that link. I'll give you some time to do that right now. This is just going to be your go-to login to get into the system. So just be very clear about that, edge.mortgagecoach.com. And then, of course, you'll notice on the screen there is a forgot password option on this screen. So do not stress if you forget your password. I know in today's day and age you seem to have 12 passwords at all times. So just know if you forget it, it's okay. Just hit forgot password, and we'll get you into that system right away. Also, when you log in, you've got RateWatch to install. Now, RateWatch is including your membership. We had a great event on RateWatch yesterday. If you'd like to see that recording, just let us know. Type that in the chat box. We want to help you be a market leader, really understanding what's going on in the marketplace before reprices happen, before you see the lock desk make adjustments. That's what RateWatch helps you do, be proactive instead of reactive. And to download it, simply hit the download option in the bottom corner. I'll make sure you know how to get to that. You're also going to be able to take RateWatch and send some really interesting information from it. So you want to send some movement things, so like where has the market shifted throughout the day. You can actually screenshot that from the system and send it to a client, send it to a realtor partner. Again, being the trusted market resource, RateWatch will give you that. Also, for many of you, you're saying, Anthony, well, I don't know how to read the bond charts. I've never done that before. Well, it's okay. You can actually just click commentary when you're in RateWatch, and you can listen to the daily video. You can hear from our experts who are really going to translate that information so you understand how it impacts you. So right out of the gate, again, you can get some quality information to benefit from. As far as the process goes when you're creating EDGE presentations, I do not want you thinking that we're trying to reinvent the wheel or that we're trying to add to your sales process. Not at all. We want to help you really shorten that down. But the process itself is just the act of going through some steps and then generating a link. You generate a link that you will send to the client via email. Some of you may like the PDFs that we produce, and that's okay to show those to clients, but remember, you can show both. The link, the emailed link, is what's going to really wow your clients, and I'll show that as we go through. But again, hopefully many of you understand this is the process. As you're going into the system, hitting any of these arrows, left or right, backwards or forwards, will save your presentation work for you, save your changes. So be aware that you get comfortable in there. We're going to be in the system here in a second, but just know that's what you want to be thinking as you start learning this. As far as the delivery of these presentations, remember I told you you're simply emailing a link. Some of you are a little more tech savvy and you know how to do custom hyperlinks. It's not very difficult at all. But when you're sending out these links, you can change them to say something else. So maybe it wants to say, click here for the Smith family mortgage analysis, or click here for purchase options for 123 Innie Street. You can edit that. You can have some creativity behind that. But at the end of the day, what you're delivering is a link which the client clicks on. They can view it on their computer. They can view it on their mobile device. And they can view it on an iPad tablet. So how nice is that? Right out of the gate, you have a mobile strategy that you can benefit from. You do not have to wait for a client to get to a computer or wait for their spouse to come back from their travels, because everybody can be in the loop at the same time with the way that you deliver these presentations. If you have any questions about how you deliver these presentations in regards to the link, again, just let us know. Type in the chat box, or you can always email support@mortgagecoach.com. Here's an example for you, to give you an example today. Many of you know how to write an email, but here's one example of how you could send it out. Hey, Susie, it was great speaking with you earlier today. I want to make sure I give you every option so you can make an informed decision about your mortgage. I will be calling you shortly to review the link below. Please have the link available to help customize the loan that best fits your needs both short and long term. Click here for your loan options. Now, again, we don't need to teach you how to write emails. We don't even need to teach you how to send out a quote. I think the idea here is what you're already doing is the same process. The only difference is you're including a link in that email. I would also recommend that you CC or BCC the realtor partner when sending these out. Why? Because you can make them look like a hero, and they're really going to appreciate the transparency. So just know that going through. Why it's important to email these, not just send PDFs, and really to send it with every client, because it's going to give you something that many other systems don't give you at the point of sale, and that's these EDGE alert emails. So when a client looks at a presentation, you send it to a realtor, they opened it, they looked at it, or you send it to Susie Byer, she opened it, she looked at it, you're going to know that Susie Byer did that. You're going to know when she did it. You're going to know how long she looked at it for. So start thinking about your follow-up. Many of you said you want to learn how to do all three of those business advantages today. Well, knowing when the client looked at it, knowing that they're interested, or knowing that you can pick up the phone and call them is very powerful. And here's the best part about this feature. The client has no idea that you know. Okay, so this is unique to you. You're going to be notified each and every time your clients are looking at your presentation, so take advantage of that. I talked about sending out the links. Remember, you're going to send it to the home buyer, but don't forget to keep your agents in the loop. You want to make sure your agent sees what you're sending. You want to make sure that they really appreciate the level of service you provide. And when you're sending it, you could CC, BCC them. You could send it forward after you send it to the client. But here's some feedback. This is a great example from one of our members, Tim Lamb. Want to make sure you see what kind of responses he's getting when sending this out. Wowza, just had a chance to click the link. A little misspell. She misspelled it, but this is fabulous, is what she wrote with exclamation points. Look at the one below it. Tim, the information you gave Grant is wonderful, and the presentation was outstanding. Man, you were really cool, Dave. So, you know, this is not about the novelty of Edge, but this is about to get those responses from those agents that you're looking for, so they realize that, hey, I should be sending all my leads to this individual. I should be working with this person every single time, and that's what we want for you as you go through this. Because consider who you're competing against. Consider who that in-house lender, what they're using to quote, or what your competition across town is using. It's the fees worksheet. It's the homemade Excel spreadsheet. It's the yellow pad verbal quote that they're doing over the phone. And many of us on this call, myself included, have used all those methods, and there's nothing wrong with them. But if you were to tell me you can create a dynamic presentation that can be changed live and shared for clients, or you could send them this itemized fees worksheet bill, so to speak, looks like a used car window sticker, which one would you prefer as a client? And that's what we're talking about today. So remember, every time you're using Edge, why you want to use it with every client is because if they're shopping you or they've talked to somebody else at one point, remember what they've received. They've probably received a fees worksheet, and now you're going to differentiate. In addition to that, I want to talk quickly about mobile, because 94% of realtor communication with clients is on their mobile device. What does that mean? That means that's where they're comfortable, and that's where you're going to be able to reach them. With the mobile app, it's included in your membership, and you can start benefiting from it right now. We'll explain how to do that. So Mortgage Coach Mobile, you can go to the App Store. You can download the app, whether it's an Apple device, whether it's an Android device. And just curious, want to push a poll out real quick to find out where we're at with that. Oftentimes, new members haven't downloaded the app, just they didn't know how to. So I'm going to push a poll, find out how much of that I need to cover. So if you just answer that yes or no, how many of you have downloaded the mobile app for Mortgage Coach? Just curious to see where we're at with that. So give you just about 10 more seconds, and then we'll move on. All right, perfect. Looks like all of you have voted. Okay, so looks about half and half. So some of you have, some of you haven't. You want to download this app. Many of you have a smartphone already. We just talked about realtors having smartphones. Your clients have smartphones. Here's a great way to look at the reason why you want to have a mobile strategy. Okay, I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on selling you on this value because many of you already know. But if anyone on this call has ever misplaced their phone for even as little as 5 minutes, I want you to remember what that feeling was like. Okay? Oftentimes when we ask this in a live training event, people actually say, it was like I lost my arm, or I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt lost. Well, if that's how you feel, your consumers, your partners, your realtor partners, they all feel the same way. That's what the mobile device connection does. And that's why we really developed this for loan originators, so you can reach clients where they're most comfortable. So know that, okay? This isn't about being gimmicky and having some new technology. This is about helping you communicate in an area where your clients constantly spend their time. And once you download it, like I said, Google Play or the App Store, it's all there. You simply type in Mortgage Coach or just email yourself a presentation, and when you click the link, it will prompt you to install it, just like you were a client. So I'd recommend going through that process. Email yourself the link, text yourself the Edge link that you built, and see what happens when you click on it from your smartphone. If you don't have the app, it's going to prompt you to install it, again, just like you're a client. If you have questions about that, please type it in the chat box. We'll make sure you're comfortable with downloading it and get the resources you need to do so. Talked about sending the link. You can email it, and you can also text it. So I'm just making sure, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but know that Edge presentations are not limited strictly to email delivery. You can take that same email, you can put it into a text message, and you can text it to your clients. You could text it to your agent. This is becoming more and more common. When I talk to loan originators, they're saying, yeah, I find myself texting a lot now. My clients prefer text sometimes. Well, great. You now have a way to reach them via text. It's the same process, and you have a strategy for that. As far as the smartphone goes and using the app, many of you can follow along right now. If you have the app, you can type in the number 16IVDZ, okay? Or in your browser, you could type this whole thing in if you're just going to follow along. But I want you to get a basic example of the cost of waiting presentation. I want you to get comfortable with the app. I want you to know one thing about it. It's a viewer, okay? That means that your clients are going to use the app to view the presentations on their mobile device. You're not going to log into the app to build presentations. They're not going to log into the app for anything other than viewing a presentation that you're sending them. Okay, so know that as we go through. And why is it in an app form compared to the desktop? Why is it a little different? Well, because obviously a phone has less real estate. So we had to create it in a way that makes it easier for the client to digest. So you'll notice there's sections here, summary, short-term, monthly, and long-term. It's all broken down. Your information is on there. Your branding is on there. You'll see your name, your logo, all that information. And it's a free app, okay? We're not charging for this app. Remember, it's just a way for you to deliver your advice. As we go through, you can follow along again. It's 16IVDZ if you'd like to see the scenario I'm showing. But the summary section where you're breaking down loan amount, interest rate, term, APR, the same information that you're getting familiar with on the EDGE total cost analysis presentation, which is what we're really focusing on today, that same information comes into the mobile presentation. So just rest assured what you want to sell on the desktop can be sold as they're at the airport waiting for a flight. They can review your information as well. And you can walk them through live. You can make live highlights all from the app. How nice is that? So things like payment breakdown, closing costs, reinvestment strategy, you'll notice along the bottom there, there's those subsections. All you have to do is click it with your finger, and it will take you right in there. If you have questions about the app or you're still unsure about this, again, it's okay. Just let us know. Type it in the chat box. We'll get those questions answered. As we go through, short-term interest savings. Again, what are we looking at with these graphs? What are we looking at? We're explaining an EDGE total cost analysis. All of the attendees today are going to receive some resource videos after this event. So we're actually going to be emailing you some links, some things that you can benefit from, like a video that explains each section of the total cost analysis. So when you go into that sales presentation, you feel comfortable explaining what the graphs are or what these other numbers are. What is this more info section about? Want you to feel comfortable with that. Veterans in the industry, like us, understand that when you're in those meetings, you want to feel comfortable in how you explain the information. So don't ever feel that you have to explain an EDGE presentation without knowing what you're talking about. Okay, there's a lot to explain. You can be very dynamic with the information or very simple, but again, just spend a few minutes learning about what we're showing, and it will really go smoothly for you. Monthly payment benefit, we talked about that. What EDGE is ultimately doing, to be very clear here, when you're inside the system, when you're using it to explain scenarios, EDGE basically compares one loan scenario against another loan scenario, or 4 loan scenarios against one another. So the system is basically comparing the performance of loan options. That's where these numbers are coming from. Which one saves them the most money per month? Well, in the case of the screen, the buy now scenario saves them $260. So you'll notice, again, it's not about just product comparison, but scenario comparison and how are these loans performing. So if someone asks, what is this app you want me to download, or what is this link that you send me, you can tell them, well, it's a program that I use that allows me to show you how these loans are going to perform for you. That way you know if this loan is the best choice for you long term, or short term, or midterm, or whatever it is you want to focus on. Again, that's what the EDGE system does. So don't get in the habit of needing to quote just rate and payment. There's a lot of different angles that you can take to sell the value to the client here, like long-term interest. Hey, buying today has you only spending $128,000 of interest. If you sit on the sidelines and decide to wait, if you think prices are going to fall or rates are going to fall in the future, let's just assume that they happen to jump up on you in the next 15 years. Instead of spending $128,000, you'd spend $182,000 of interest. I'm your loan originator, and I'm responsible for your well-being. I can't let that happen. That's why I'm showing you this analysis. Again, you can illustrate that to them. Your contact information, just like on the desktop version, is in the mobile version. So I want you getting comfortable with mobile, because if you were to ask us here, say, well, where's the industry trending? All of you at Mortgage Coach spend a lot of time researching the market trends and finding out what's working, what's not working. Well, I could tell you those that have embraced a mobile strategy are really leading the pack, and they're really seeing some tremendous results. So by no means do you have to be a mobile expert, but know that already, because you're a member, you have access to this and you can start benefiting from it. So just like you're going to benefit from the membership, who could benefit from a total cost analysis presentation? Past clients, friends, spouses, coworkers, financial planners, CPAs, realtors. If you were on our coaching call on Tuesday, you probably heard about the number 250. Okay, the average number of people someone knows at any given time is 250. So think about that for a second. Realize all those past clients, every client you're talking to, they know 250 people that potentially could be another client of yours. So always take that role as you go through. I'm not going to spend a lot of time illustrating the different strategies because you're going to be able to find many of these on our website or if you go to the support center. But again, for purchases, the sky is the limit. You're only limited by your own creativity. Purchase strategies. What do you want to show them? You want to show them a rent versus own, or FHA versus conventional, or maybe different price or down payment comparisons, or an ARM versus a fixed loan. You can do all those things. So again, just know Edge is all about being able to show scenarios side by side. Refinance strategies. Maybe you want to show a open house presentation for a realtor, or maybe you want to send something to a financial planner. You can do that. And also, many of you are starting to do marketing presentations. You want to send not just one-to-one, but maybe you want to send a presentation to a group of first-time home buyers. You want to send it to a group of realtor partners. You can do that with Edge as well. Again, being able to do more and less time. So we're going to jump into the Edge system now, but if you're taking notes today and you're wondering, well, what should I really do to benefit from this? What's my action plan? In the next 5 days or the next 10 days or 20 days, you want to shoot for creating one total cost analysis a day. Okay, if you can get comfortable with that, by the time you reach 5, it'll be a breeze. And if you get stuck along the way, that's okay. I mean, we're here to help you. We're going to find out what could be holding you back. But we want to look at this right now. If you're writing notes, write this down. The next 5 days, I'm going to create 5 TCAs. Underline that statement. That's what's going to take your business to the next level with this. If you never create the 5 TCAs, if you never invest the time, you honestly, from our perspective, are really missing out on what is going to help you grow your business with this. Okay, it's not that we want you to spend a lot of time out of originating. It's simply put the time in to build 5. You're going to see the ROI from that. Install RateWatch and attend our coaching calls, whether it's Tuesday or Thursday. We're going to send you the resource links so you can benefit from that and get registered. Okay, so as far as getting started with Edge, when you log into the system, when you're logged in, know that there are some preloaded presentations in there for you already. Okay, so what's the point of this is that you can get in there and start editing some of those that are already in there. You can get some ideas about how the process is used and how you go through the system. So take advantage of what we've already loaded for you. Okay, we've got sample presentations. You don't have to look at this as a blank slate. We've actually taken a lot of the guesswork out so you could do that right away. All right, so let's jump into it. I'm going to talk about this scenario at the end here. So let's jump in. Let's get into Edge. Okay, so I'm going to just go into Edge just like I just logged in from the very beginning. And now you can see it on the screen. I know the home screen can seem like a lot right now, but just realize this is your home screen. This is where you're really going to drive into what you want to do inside of Edge. Whether along the top you see you want to do a new client presentation, or maybe it's for an open house presentation you want to click new partner. Today is all about new client. Okay, I want to help you with every conversation with a borrower, every scenario. We want to make sure you could do that. So a couple things to note. View all sections are here. That's where you're going to see all the different files. Biggest and most important thing to know right now, because I know I can talk very quickly. I know it's a lot of information to try to learn in one setting. So just know when you're inside of Edge, everything I've talked about, everything I'm going to be talking about, everything that we do here on a daily basis is all stored here in the Help Center. Okay, so it's right at the top of the screen where it says Help. If you go into there, if you log into Edge and you click Help, it's going to drive you into our Support Center, which is a searchable event, a searchable experience. So if you just click in there, it'll load up for you, and it'll wait for that. There we go. And you've got the knowledge-based search option. So for example, if you want to learn how to create a purchase TCA, all you do is log into this area, and now you've got a purchase scenario easy to follow. Move up buyer presentation, or even look along the top. how to create a purchase, how to create a refinance. Maybe you want to learn how to enter an FHA loan, how to create edge videos or fee templates. Maybe you just want to know how to read the TCA or just set up the basics like your branding and your contact info. We know those are the questions you're going to ask, so all you have to do is come in here and check some of these out. Okay, they're made in a way to help you quickly get the answers you need and move through. We don't want you spending a lot of time, hours and hours, watching videos. We want you to get what you need, get back into your business, and close some loans. So with that said, let's go into a client file so you can get a sense of what the new client section looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and double-click Suzy Conventional here. Just like I was clicking New Client and going through, this is the process. So anything in red here is required for me to build a presentation. Now, there's a lot of fields in Edge. So as you're going through these sections, understand that it's not about making you complete every single field. Just know that you have the option to complete those fields because we're trying to help you facilitate a great consultative sales discussion each and every time. If you already have information, you don't need to put all of it in. It's okay. Because the Edge is built the way it's built, you can always add information in later. But let's just assume you put in Suzy's first name, last name. You want to put in her home phone number. You're going right through the fields. I want you to imagine it's like you're writing a novel, right? Like you're writing a book. You're going top to bottom, left to right. That's how you should be reading Edge as you start learning this. For some of you said, hey, Anthony, you mentioned sending this out to all my first-time home buyers who haven't closed yet. Well, yeah, you can create a marketing presentation to go to everyone, and that's what this switch is for. Marketing, you create a headline, and then you can send that out. That's the only difference there. Going through, just know the system's intelligent, so if I tell it that the Suzy Conventional is a renter, it's going to allow me to create a rent versus own. If I said she currently owns, it's going to assume this is some sort of upgrade buyer, some sort of refinance scenario. So again, the system is smart enough to pick up on what you're trying to do. Partner email, maybe Tom at C21 sent me this business, so I can keep that in here because I want him alerted when I get alerted. How nice is that? It allows you to provide transparency. For some of you working on a team, you want your transaction coordinator looped in. That's what the partner email field can do. Friendly name is really easy. You just want to know what the name of the particular file is that you're building. Okay, so if you're building FHA versus conventional or 5% versus 20% down, that's what you want to name in the friendly name. Not a nickname for the client, friendly name for the file. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time on this screen because it's just the first screen in Edge. You're getting a sense of why we're asking for this information, and you'll get really comfortable moving forward. So I put in Suzy's info. I arrow through to the next screen. Okay, I arrow through. What are Suzy's goals? It's to do several different things, right? But most importantly, it's to purchase a new home. So we're going to hit Purchase New Home. That's all I have to do on this screen, and then I arrow through. Note, though, there is a note section on the right-hand side. So you have a note section that stays with you on each and every screen. So we talked about helping you with your efficiency and getting more out of the system. If you're taking notes on a yellow pad when you're listening to the client on the phone, or you're sitting in your office taking that consultative discussion, of course you can still take notes by hand, but you don't have to because inside of Edge, you can keep those notes in the note section. It's an ongoing area that you can just keep adding notes to, and they're going to stay with you. Even if you logged in a year later, your notes will still be there, that she's a nurse, she's got 3 kids, she wants the 30-year option, she really prefers a no MI option. I mean, it's just a way for you to really control that information. You don't have to worry about where it lives. Suzy's current information, again, I fill in anything in red, I move through. If I don't have this information and it's not in red, remember I can always come back and add it in later, even if I'm live on the phone with my client. Fannie and Freddie buttons are built into the system. Note that that's there. What can Suzy afford? We have affordability. So note on the affordability section, there is no fields here marked in red. So that doesn't necessarily mean to skip it, but just feel confident when you're in here that things you're going to need anyways, annual gross income, credit status, you can provide a rating here. The client's not going to see any of this information on the screen other than savings balance and rate of return if you choose to show that. So that's why we've put this information in here, especially those of you working with CPAs or financial planners. Getting the rate of return on their savings is important because now you can benefit the services of your financial planner by saying, hey, if you're only getting 0.1% on your money, or maybe 2%, my financial planner can get you into something growing 3 to 5, and you can illustrate that to them. Tax bracket information, you can show tax benefits simply by putting their percentage in here. Find tax bracket if you don't know it. Also, some of you utilizing the NCC program, you need that, just hit the tax credits option, and you'll be able to input that information as well. That's relatively new. I would love to get some feedback on this screen. We've made some changes to it over time, so please let us know if you find this screen helpful. Once you've gone through affordability section, you get some other areas where you can keep detailed notes of the conversation with the client. Remember, what if you're talking to Susie and Susie told you, the most we want to spend is no more than $16.50 a month. That's what we were thinking. Great, now I have a payment ceiling. Ideally, Susie, what were you hoping to spend? Well, we were hoping for $15.50 a month. Great, I can put that in. Price range is there too. So if I come back to this file, I know many of you are writing a lot of pre-quals, and you come back to Susie maybe a month later and you're trying to remember everything you talked about, well, guess what? Edge is going to store all that information from you because you're creating a new link for a new client each time. The links will never die unless you delete the entire presentation. So by the end of your tenure as a Mortgage Coach member, 25 years from now, you're going to have thousands of links that you send out to clients. Okay, so really hopefully you have an understanding of that. As far as now getting into the product section, as far as building this, you notice, let's talk about where we came from. We went through the client, goals, assumptions, and affordability sections of Edge, okay, the first four. And I think all of you identified, well, those first four sections are what I already do. I provide a discovery portion of my conversation, try to find out who the client is, what they want to accomplish, where they're at in their mortgage scenario, and obviously can they afford a loan right now. That's what those first four sections are for. So once you hit the halfway point, now we're on to what we'd like them to see. So in this case, I'm at the product section. So it says products, think scenarios to yourself, okay? What scenario do I want to show? Right, for now, we're showing FHA 30-year fixed. Is it a refi? No, it's not. So again, reading it like a book, top to bottom, left to right. Is this a refi? No. Is this their current mortgage? No. Their current mortgage is something else. If this is a refi, that would be what that's used for. Don't worry too much about the current mortgage option unless you're resubordinating a second lien. And if you're doing that, don't worry. We have plenty of resources to help you. It's not very difficult, but that's more likely what you're going to use that for. One of the things to note as you get into Edge, the more you use it, the more it's going to sort of mold to your particular business focus. For example, if I use a lot of Edge presentations every day, I'm going to start saving those presentation products. So when I'm in here, I can just apply my FHA 30 or my conventional 5% down or that 15-year. Because the more you build them, you simply save them, and then you can come back and use them later. So again, today is all about helping you have an understanding of how you will be using this as you start learning it. Adding a product from template. Maybe you want to copy information over from a previous scenario you've built. You can do all those things. That's what Edge is really built for. Purchase price, down payment. Notice I can just put the information that's marked in red. I can put percentage, interest rate term, fill in everything that's marked in red. Once I'm confident in what I've got in here, I simply am arrowing through. Arrow through to save that screen, and I'm on to the next section. Things like closing costs. Now, sometimes when someone first gets started with Edge, you're trying to understand what we're doing here. Well, there's two ways to quote your closing costs. You can lump sum them based on knowing what your APRs are, your non-APRs, prepaid escrows and such. You can lump sum them there, or you can also hit the closing cost detail button. Okay, so the closing cost, and remember, everything I'm showing you, we have detailed video and resources for training videos on, so it's not like you're going to have to remember everything here. But just know, if you get stuck on any of this, everything we're talking about, there's training on. But I hit that closing cost detail button. Now, what that allows me to do is apply a template, fee template that I may have built. So some of you may be at an organization that has preloaded templates for you. Others might be an individual LO that haven't created those templates yet. Believe me, it shouldn't take you very long. Spend the time to create one, and then you can use that one to create others because you can save templates as a new name, and then you can quickly build a lot of them. But the process is pretty easy. Just put in those line items that you want them to see, make your adjustments, put in your numbers, and then save it. So, or apply it alone, I'm sorry. So you can go right through. If you need to delete one, you just hit the trash can icon. If you need to edit any of these, you notice they're all preloaded in here. So pretty much every fee you've ever seen on a HUD, we brought over for you. That's all part of this system. And if you have questions about the fee area, we have a video. Of course, you could watch that and use that as soon as possible. So going through closing costs, once you know that, it's pretty straightforward. The upfront MI, of course, is being asked for because it's a VA or FHA loan. You see that there. I'm arrowing through. HOAs, hazard insurance, I can put in my percentages or amounts. I also see an area for mortgage insurance. Remember, Once you save your scenarios, you can have a lot of this pre-completed. You fill it in, and then you simply move through. To save a scenario in Edge as I'm building things, you can do it inside of your settings area, or you could hit the Save as Template option. So you save a scenario. You build a 15-year fix, save it so you can come back and use it later. If you were to build a 5-year ARM and you see that's more and more common, save it so you can come back and apply it and make adjustments for a new client. For this particular scenario, I'm comparing two scenarios side by side, FHA 30-year fix and conventional 5% down. The reason I'm focusing on this, whether or not this is programs that you specialize in, just know that this is really common right now in terms of clients wondering the difference between the two programs, or not even your clients. Think about your agents. Hey, we all know that they do a great job of explaining bay windows in school districts, but when it comes to explaining conventional versus FHA, hey, that's our world. So why would I create a presentation like this? Well, because every time someone asks you the difference between FHA and conventional, you've got a great thing you can send them that helps answer that question. And for those of you that really are excited about the video element, think about being able to handle those objections and questions when you're not even there. You could be at a baseball game and someone's watching the Edge presentation that you sent them last night. So again, all about helping you be more effective. I go through, I fill in what I need. This one has a 5% down, move through. I talked about copying things over. There's a copy from button. You can quickly copy things and move through. Simply hit copy, copy your information, and get comfortable with that. Again, for many of you on this call, I know we can move quickly here. I'm trying to keep the tempo upbeat so you can get the most out of today's session. I would consider, as you're considering learning this and starting to implement it in your business, find an accountability partner, someone in your office, someone whose feedback you trust that you could send an Edge presentation to. You can ask them what they think of it. Say, hey, I'm going to send this presentation to you. I want you to act like the client. I'm going to call you right now and go over this. Again, once you do that once or twice, you're really going to feel comfortable in the system. Don't feel that you're just going to go into a presentation blind. You're really doing yourself a disservice. Even if you practice on your own, you send the link to yourself, you click it, see what the client would see. Go through those steps because ultimately it's going to really help you down the road. The analysis summary screen. Honestly, probably one of my favorite screens inside the system. As an LO, you're going to absolutely love that we took 10 to 15 of the most common calculations that you do right now by hand, and we put them onto the screen so you could do them instantly. For example, if you notice these green graphs here, it's comparing each scenario against each other, but let's look at the green. It's showing me total interest in MI paid over a time period that I specify. Maybe I want to calculate total net worth. Instantly makes the calculation. Or total principal. I make my selection. Instantly that calculation comes through. If I wanted to adjust my short-term analysis, right, how much benefit is being shown to this client over the next 60 months, the next 5 years, I type in 60 in the analysis area, and all of a sudden my numbers down here reflect that number. If I wanted to bump this out, or the client will only be there for 2 years, I can change it, and now my numbers will change as well. Remember, with Edge, there's nothing set in stone when you're emailing these links or sending them out to their mobile device. You can edit anything you need to, and that's what's so great about it. A client wants to see different scenarios. You don't even have to get off the phone with them. You can just make an adjustment, and it's going to impact the presentation. So as far as seeing each section, I think understanding that you can adjust it is key here. Knowing that you can compare against what you want to compare against, whether you want to show a cost or a benefit, you can make that switch by adjusting benchmarks. So if your presentation ever is looking like it doesn't make much sense to you, you're trying to understand where the benefit's coming from, make sure your benchmarks are set accurately. Sometimes someone might have set it incorrectly, and you're wondering, well, what is this red 69? Well, that's a cost. It's showing that the FHA 30 is $69 more expensive. If I switch that, it shows that the conventional is $69 less per month. So one's savings, one's cost. Again, depending on your client, depending on your conversations, it's up to you what you want to show. Short-term savings, you're going to see the video link that we send you, how to explain each section. But just remember, we're calculating the true cost of each loan side by side. And when we do that, over the next 24 months, this particular scenario is saving them $7,900. And that's what this orange graph area will do for you. Long-term is what I showed you initially, you know, how you can adjust total principal, total net worth, or total interest. Any of those numbers can be adjusted instantly for your client. You don't have to spend the time making those calculations. Let us do the heavy lifting. You just focus on selling. The copy analysis button that's right in the middle of the screen. want you to imagine that you presented to Susie Beyer. She absolutely loved the presentation. She was blown away by what you did. She loved it so much that she told her coworkers about what you could do for them. So all of a sudden you get an email or you get a call from a coworker that says, hey, Anthony, I love that presentation that you did for Susie. As a matter of fact, my husband and I are looking to buy a new home, or my wife and I are going to be relocating. Can you create one of those presentations for us? Absolutely. All you need to do is copy the analysis, copy it to a new client, and now you'll make some adjustments to it. Obviously, you change the loan amount, you change some things up, but you can really save a lot of time with that feature. Again, this is a shortcut feature to help you get the most out of your time. That's what that button is there for. If you need help with that, you can search copy inside the Help Center, and we have a video on using these buttons. One thing before I leave this screen I think is very important. I want to help each and every one of you differentiate yourself and get a client to literally say the words wow when they see what you're presenting. And one of the ways to do that is to provide a reinvestment strategy for them. Okay, no matter if it's a purchase, if it's a refinance, one of the best ways you could differentiate yourself and help somebody not only pay off their mortgage faster, but help them share your value with others is being able to show them how they can lower their freedom point, and that's the point at which the mortgage will be paid off. So I clicked the reinvestment grid. It popped up on the screen. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here. I would consider this to be more of an advanced strategy, but I want you to know how to do this because once you start doing this, it's going to be a real game changer for you. Biggest thing I want you to know about this screen is the reduction payment field. Okay, this is where you can put in additional principal payments each month for the client's scenario to see the impact. For example, if the client says, hey, Anthony, we'd really like the low down payment option with FHA, and as a matter of fact, we're going to be able to apply an additional $100 per month to this loan scenario. And if I do that, $100 per month, take a look at this, $100 per month, watch the impact of the freedom point. Instantly calculates 26.25 years. Okay, many of you do this by hand. You're probably saying, wow, yourself. Wow, it does that for me? Yes, it does, absolutely. If the client only wanted to put $25 a month, instead of paying it off in 30 years, they'll pay it off in 29. Saves them a year in mortgage payments. But again, if you could save somebody, let's say 5 years of mortgage payments, pay off their loan 4 years faster, do you think they would tell a friend or family member or coworker about what you do? Absolutely. Even if it's not a requirement of their loan, it's something that they know how to do, and they're going to appreciate you showing them that. Even if they couldn't make it happen each and every month, you can show the impact. And it doesn't take you long at all, and you can make those adjustments live. So from my experience and the team here at Mortgage Coach, if you're looking for an easy way to differentiate yourself and a true way to make the client think that you're different from everyone else, ask the client, how old do you want to be when this loan is paid off? They're going to be in shock. No one ever asks them that. What do you mean? I thought this was a 30-year loan. Well, absolutely, it's a 30-year loan, but I know you had said you're paying off your car loan, so if you put an extra $200 a month towards this loan, you could pay it off in 23 years, not 30. I want to make sure that's a possibility for you. Again, really, really nice section. You can also reinvest the money in their bank account or into an investment account. That's what this is for. So, spend some time in here and get comfortable with it. You can even do a delayed investment for like 3 years or 5 years down the road. Again, we have plenty of resources for you to take advantage. Going through to get to the contact section, email address for Susie, put that in. Co-borrower, first name, last name if needed. Property address, I recommend putting that in always. I mean, it's going to show up on the report. It looks really good. If it's a purchase and they don't know yet, just put TBD. That's a good way to do that. If you're doing a marketing presentation, this property address will not show up, so be aware of that when moving through. Select presentation to show Susie. So you notice we're just arrowing through. We're almost at the very end. We're in the last section, the presentation section. It's asking me what I want to send out, a total cost, a seller buy down, an AM schedule. Maybe I want to export this to Fannie Mae. I can do so. Also, it's asking me which products I'd like to include. If you've done 4 scenarios here and you're not sure if you want to present everything all at once, you could just uncheck the scenarios you don't want them to see yet. In this case, we only have 2, but just know, again, you have some control there. You can uncheck them. There's no delete button for the scenario. You just uncheck it, and it won't show up. You can also present it one by one. If you wanted to do something like that, you can. Payment notes, that's self-explanatory. And then you're just going to go through each section, getting comfortable with each section of the EDGE presentation. The monthly payment benefit here. In this case, conventional saves them $69 per month because obviously they're putting more money down, less MI being needed. You can see that difference. Also over time, again, the same concept. Because of the less expensive MI, The conventional option saves them $7,900. Really nice. If the client said, well, we're going to be here over 24 months, we're going to be here for at least 10 years. Well, here instead of 24 months, instead of $7,900 in benefit, I'm going to motivate this client with $8,800 of benefit. Again, the system does the heavy lifting. I just make my adjustments. Again, long term, I think total interest is really good to show, especially if you're trying to show the performance over time. That's a great one to select and move through. I've gone through each section, okay? Now I'm ready to do several things. I can email it. I could print it. I could save it as PDF. Some of you, I know, really like the PDF, especially if you're meeting face-to-face, and that's fine. But I would recommend that you're still emailing the link so they have it in their inbox, they have it on their mobile device, and when they leave your office or they leave that face-to-face meeting or they're out home shopping, they're going to have it on their mobile phone. And if you want to give them a hard deliverable, great. You could print it or they could print it from home. There's no reason why you can't deliver value in different mediums. But if you were to ask me, Anthony, what do top producers do? 95% of those top producers, I'd say 98% of them are emailing the link out. Okay, if they do happen to send a PDF, they send both. Notify me when the report is viewed. That is so you can be alerted when they look at it. The call button is a lead capture tool, so you can basically tell a client to schedule a call back with you, and you're going to get those details. Really nice feature. It connects you live with them as well. Not too much time is going to be spent on that today, though. Also, being able to send an EdgeView alert to your partner. We talked about that. If you want to make sure the agent knows that Susie Buyer looked at your rent versus own, or that your transaction coordinator is ready to follow up to get those steps from the client, you can keep everybody in the loop that way. It's really nice. Also, you know there's a quote date area, so I can put my quote date in. So we've gone through the entire presentation. I could preview it now, or I could hit the Generate Link option. Okay, Generate Link is how you send this out. I hit Generate Link. It's going to give me my link right in the center of the screen. I copy this, and I put it into an email. Now remember, you send this link, not us. Okay, you send it from your computer so it doesn't end up potentially in spam coming from an automated system like ours. You simply copy that link, paste it in an email, and send it. Send it to yourself the first time so you see how it comes through. Text it to yourself. Again, get comfortable in that. Then you'll know how it's seen by the client. Once you're ready to take it to the next level, we don't want you just to do the great presentation without being able to narrate it, because narrating it gets it shared 4 times as often. So I hit Generate Link. I'm going to hit Add Audio Video. Okay, Add Audio Video or Edge Live is going to allow me to do some things. I'm going to hit Add Audio Video. This is really important. Why? Because 78% of all real estate agents making over $100,000, according to KCM, 78% of those agents that are consistently making $100,000 use video marketing. So what I'm about to show you is not about being the YouTube gimmicky guy or the video specialist or the tech mortgage person. It's just about helping you communicate effectively to your client. So when I pull up the Add Audio Video option, it shows me the presentation that I've built. It shows me how I'm saving this client significant money over time when comparing these options. But maybe the husband works late, and I'm going to send this over to the wife, and when he gets home, he's going to want to know what she found out. So instead of having her sell the value of the loan, instead of having to schedule another call to go over the same information I went over with that person, I can actually hit Record Message, and here we are. Welcome to Edge Video. Look how simple and easy this is. I hit Record Message. I allow access to my webcam, and now here we are. I'm able to record my narration. Now, a key thing to note, the only reason I'm wearing this headset is because I'm dialed in as a GoToWebinar, but in terms of recording my message, I simply hit the record button here, and I talk to the camera just like I'm talking to the client sitting across the desk from me. You don't need to spend 8 minutes in a detailed recording. It's just like leaving a voicemail on someone's phone. If you leave a 5-minute voicemail, do you think they're going to listen to the whole 5 minutes, or are they probably going to hear the first 30 seconds to a minute and a half and pick up the phone and call you? It's the same concept here. The nice thing is, though, these are going to get shared. Great story, so you can get some value out of this. Had a member who sent this to a client who worked in an insurance office. He got alerted that she had looked at it. He picked up the phone, called her. She really loved it, decided to move forward. The next day, he got 2 more alerts, and he called the client to see if she had more questions. What actually happened was she was so impressed by the video, she had sent it to her coworkers. Long story short, our member got 2 additional loans from that office simply because he took the time to narrate it with video. So again, this is not about being the tech person. This is about helping you communicate your advice in a way that's shareable and helps your client really understand what you're sending them. Again, think about even many of us know, veterans on this call, you sent fees worksheets over and people were confused. So being able to narrate the information, even if it's really simple, it can be very important and it can be a really nice impact to your business. If you just want to record audio, hit the record audio only option at the bottom, and that's just like leaving a voicemail like I said before. So pretty simple process. Once I've recorded it, I can play it back, or I simply hit this box here, close it out, and we're done. That video will now be attached to the presentation. You are good to go after that. So really nice feature. Again, I can't stress enough how you want to do that. As we start wrapping here, I'm going to cover a couple things. Again, as I send these out, if I'm a loan originator and I want to get comfortable walking my client through the presentation, you can do that live. So, for example, if I had sent this to Susie Buyer and she calls me and says, hey, Anthony, I've got this presentation up. Can we go over it? I say, sure. You're looking at it right now. So she says, yes, I am. Whether it's on her mobile phone or she's at home or at work, I could say, great, let me walk you through. So I come in here. I find this Edge Live button, which is on the very, very last section. I click Edge Live. It's going to open up the presentation. And now what I can do is I can highlight anything I want to draw attention to. So imagine she's looking at it on her screen. I highlight the conventional option. It highlights on her screen. I highlight the FHA option. It highlights on her screen. Highlight the interest rate. Highlights on her screen. So again, you can really drive the presentation. It's all on what you want to do. The client can't make any changes to the presentation. They can't do any highlighting. That's all for you. Okay, so you can take advantage of that. You can hit the graphs, make the graphs jump. You can make any type of attention be shown anywhere you want it to, even the more info section. I click more info, draws the client right into the more info section. So no, we're just about getting to time. Want to show you one more game-changing feature of Edge. So we're talking about conventional with Susie Buyer. Okay, we're talking to her. She says, I love the conventional option. I think I can do the 5% down, but my brother-in-law, he used to do loans, and he was telling me that I should be paying a point. I should be paying a point. Now, we all know this. We always know there's some person, some third party that's involved. What if I wanted to show her what paying a point would do to this loan scenario? I don't need to get off the phone. I don't need to say, I'll call you back or send a new PDF. I say, okay, Susie, you'd like to see what paying a point would do? Let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and again, this is what she's seeing. She's seeing her version. On my screen, I can go into Edge. I can go to that conventional option. I'm going to change this interest rate, right? I'm going to change it to, let's just do 4%. I'm going to say 4%, and then on the next screen, I'm going to put in a 1 point that you'll pay for out of pocket. I want you to watch what happens here. Do this 4.5. So instantly it changed to 4%. You notice my cash to close increased. Okay, so that's Edge Live. Make live changes instantly. Make your adjustments while the client. Okay, you could have 4 people on. You could have 40 people on the presentation, a group of agents, a group of first-time home buyers, and you're literally driving them through the presentation. If you're at an event, you're hosting a CE credit training, or maybe you want to do some sort of first-time home buyer seminar, you can have everybody download the app, and you could drive them through a presentation live, making adjustments. How powerful can that be? Obviously, I think many of you know that. So with that said, we're just about the time. Don't forget I talked about what some of the actionable steps are. Create the 5 TCAs. If you're wondering what I can create, you can create the rent versus owns. You can create a down payment comparison, FHA versus conventional. You can create an open house presentation. But if you're asking me what's going to give me the most value, we'll create some scenarios that you find yourself explaining often, right? FHA versus conventional or down payment scenarios, things like that. Be very clear on that. So I know we're at time. Again, reminder, go to the Help Center. Go into the Help Center, search the knowledge base. Anything you want to learn, annual mortgage reviews, how you can follow with past clients and get some business. Maybe you want to learn how to build a fee template. Click the Help button, search. Also, you can go to our support team, email support@mortgagecoach.com, which, so you know, we give you some scenarios. On the screen, here's some homework for you. So, Anthony, I still don't know what I should build. Well, you could build a purchase power analysis. You show different offers. Show an offer of $250 versus an offer of $275. That's a good one to show. You can also do a cost of waiting, buying today with 5% down at 4.5% rate, or waiting and the rates and prices increase by just a little bit, 5.5%, maybe 3% price increase. But you could show those scenarios side by side and get comfortable with it. And then from a technical level, when you're saying, well, I really still feel lost, or maybe I've built something and I'm unsure of if I've built it correctly or where are the additional resources I need that Anthony mentioned, email support@mortgagecoach.com. We'll get you the answers you're looking for. So with that said, it looks like our support team did a phenomenal job of answering a lot of questions. So I just want to push one final poll here, and just to get a sense of what did you think of today's event? Was it helpful for you? Do you still have questions? Are you completely lost? Do you need more help? So if you could just do me a favor, answer that. We love the feedback. If you think there was something that we missed on today's call that we could do a better job of, please let us know. Email support@mortgagecoach.com. We will make those adjustments, and we will improve these types of events for you. We just need to know what you want to learn, and we'll get you there. So I really appreciate everybody answering this. We're going to make sure if you still have questions, we get those questions answered, so we will be following up with you. And I appreciate the time today, because remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. As you get started with this, we're going to really, really help you dive into what you need to know, and we're going to do this every Friday in addition to all the other events. So I want to make sure you can do that. I'm going to leave this open just a little bit longer so you can continue to ask questions into the chat box, and we can ask those for you or answer those. So just type those in. Again, I'll leave it about just 2 minutes more, and then we will wrap up the call. But keep them coming while we got you on the call. We'd love to answer those and really get you started. So again, I'll leave it up for about 1 more minute. Last thing I think I can say as we're in overtime here, if you go to mortgagecoach.com, you're saying, Anthony, you got a lot of resources, but where do I find them? I went into the Help Center, but I want to catch those coaching calls you talked about. Well, because remember, go into the Community tab of our website, and you're going to see there's a coaching call archive, okay? Webinar archive, quick reference guide, Edge Hall of Fame, all these things that can be really helpful. But the coaching call archive is going to allow you to see all these past events we've done. They're all recorded. You can watch some of these, whether it's a basics training that's been recorded, best practices for Edge and Rate Watch. So everything's here. Everything, I'm telling you, everything you could think of in the industry, we've done sessions on. So they're all here so you can benefit from it. So with that said, we're at time. Looks like most of the questions have been answered. Again, look forward to hearing about your success using Mortgage Coach. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.